I'm Bob Mills on the Orlando Solar Bears Hockey Network, here with Orlando Solar Bears head coach Vince Williams. Coach, can you talk about the status of some of the protected players for the Orlando Solar Bears? I know Jacob Cephas, that was on that protected list, able to get a hold of him. He'll be coming back for the upcoming season. Can you talk about some of those other guys that were protected?
Well, for the most part, you just kind of reach out to them and see where they're at. I mean, obviously, when the season's over, there's, these guys, tend to look at some things and some options that they may have, and certainly in the American League and Europe, and so for the most part, you just kind of check in, and then right now we've been a little bit more, aggressive in pursuing those guys and trying to see what their plans are, and because we have a team to put together as well, and we want, obviously we protected them for a reason because we feel that they can help us.
Can you recap how you feel the defense played last year for the Orlando Solar Bears? Certainly, we saw a lot of moving parts on the back end for Orlando. How'd you feel the defensemen were last season?
Everyone did a great job. I thought there was really a lot of movement and some inconsistencies on the back end as far as the amount of players we had, and at times with injuries and call-ups and whatnot. But you take someone like Bryce Anilowski, who started in the stands at the beginning of the year. He was working his way in the lineup, and was probably one of our better defensemen throughout the season. In the second half, had 2 call-ups, which was great for him, exciting for him. Obviously Blake Kessel, is probably one of the more dynamic offensive defensemen in our league, and I think our group worked hard. There were some young guys back there, and Jobkey and Zach Ewan, and that was their first real year as pro. So that's an adjustment as well. But I think that as a group, we did a good job defending, and they're all guys that can move and skate, and like I said, and we still we're still in a position where we can have a couple of those guys back, which we can build off of for next year, and obviously improve in the areas that we need to improve upon.
A pretty big body on defense coming into the Orlando Solar Bears system as well. In Mike Bergen joining the Solar Bears roster, Ben Schutron, Brad Good, a couple of other players who will be here for next season. Can you talk about them?
Mike's a big kid. He's 6'3", 210-pound defenseman, and he can move, he can skate. He was a captain at RPI. I mean, he has a great leadership pedigree in him. He's a guy that I think can certainly be an impact guy. And he's going into his 3rd year pro. He played 2 years of pro in Sweden, so he was a pretty good find. Brad Good's a blue collar, solid defenseman. I know he spent some time here a little bit. He kind of took a year to finish some schooling last year, but skated with the team and trained with the team. But also another guy that brings an element of size and toughness. And Warletter was Sault Ste. Marie, was a captain in Carleton University, but another guy that brings those leadership qualities. And that's. And Ben Schutron, he was a draft pick, played it, in some real, big teams and in Memorial Cups. And so when you look at their pedigree and their history, those are things that are just as enticing and as far as, when you're recruiting, because they're all intangible things that can certainly help our team. But
how can the Solar Bears improve defensively next season?
I think collectively it's about commitment, and it's not just the defenseman or the goaltending. I mean, it's the team. Everyone's got to buy into playing. I mean, defense and defensive consistency, and it's a commitment, and it's hard work. I mean, it's whether you want to do it or not. And I think that it's something we practice every day from day one. And it's something we work on throughout the whole season. So with movement and with that, it's trying not to overcomplicate it. But it comes down to winning battles and being hard in your own end, hard to play against. And that means being physical, and it means winning those battles and the 50-50 pucks and blocking shots.
You'll be back for your 2nd season as the Orlando Solar Bears head coach, but you'll have a new assistant coach this year. Where are you at on the search for a new assistant?
Well, we've been just collaborating and collecting resumes and doing our homework and our research. And there's a lot of really good applicants, and you just have to do your due diligence. It's a pretty expanded role, the assistant coaching role. I mean, I was fortunate to do it for 5 years, and you get to learn so much, and but there is a lot to it. So I mean, you want to make sure you do your homework, and it has to be the right fit for, obviously, the organization and for myself and for this team. And obviously, we want to make sure that we have coming in here is going to be a real asset.
I'm Bob Mills. He's Orlando Solar Bears head coach Vince Williams on your Orlando Solar Bears Hockey Network.